Hello, this is Redithin, and welcome to week 2 of NPA, and this week we are facing Crimson Seabad. Very excited to be playing Crimson, of course, coach in the GBA, well respected in the community, so a really cool opportunity to play this week. But that doesn't mean we're gonna be slacking this week. We gotta really really put our heads down this week. So yeah, no playing around. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. This battle is on Wi-Fi, of course. I am doing the team builder on Showdown though, like I did with PPL. By the way, if you haven't checked that out, please do. I worked very hard on it, but anyway, yeah. So I'm just gonna go over the team in Showdown, and then I'm gonna switch over to Wi-Fi for the battle. Like I said, if this just ends up not being as good, I'll switch back. I just like how Showdown just kind of lays everything out for you. So yeah, that's why I'm using it for now, and it's just so much less of a hassle to record for me. So anyway, let's go into what I brought for him. And leading off is our Blacephalon Scarf with actually just enough speed to outspeed +2 Timid or Jolly Celesteela. One thing you're gonna see with like everything I have is that I was really afraid of Celesteela, and for good reason. Like, just looking at my team, the Autotomize set just kind of wrecks me, so I really needed to watch out for that, and Blacephalon, or Scarf Blacephalon, is able to outspeed that. So it was just kind of running Scarf out of necessity. I really wanted to run Specs, but Scarf is fine too, because I mean, if you look at his team, you know, he doesn't appreciate Blacephalon for the most part. Another good thing it does is that it can revenge Linoon if it gets Belly Drum off, because that can be pretty scary too. And even like +1 Mega Alt, it'll still come in and outspeed. So yeah, this thing's pretty nice. He didn't have as great a matchup because he had the Scrafty, of course, and the Mega Alt can be EV to live 2 Shadow Balls, and the Araquanid can switch in often. So it wasn't the most optimal matchup, but I mean, it was good here. So there was no way I wasn't gonna bring it this week. So yeah, I fought Flamethrower and Shadow Ball, Mind Blow just for a little extra damage in case I need it, and I just put Will-O-Wisp on there. That's mainly just in case of like the Scrafty coming in, or I can burn the Mega Alt, or whatever. I didn't really need much else there. I also could have put Trick, but I just wanted to keep my Scarf the entire match. Because I assumed the Celesteela was going to be saved for the back, so Will-O-Wisp seemed like the best bet. Next up is actually a really interesting Zangoose set. Kind of really the thought behind this is that I wanted something to Pursuit Trap Gengar. However, I didn't want Tyranitar because I know that it could be all out pummeling and then just ruin my life. And then Tyranitar, as it is, just I didn't think really had a great matchup. Of course, Celesteela is a Steel type. Gengar gets Focus Blast. Of course, Scrafty switches into it all day. Mega Altaria is a Fairy type, of course. Araquanid can do a lot of damage, although Tyranitar can outspeed and traditionally kill it with rough moves. So it does have that going for it, but it just didn't have that great of a matchup. So I thought I'd put this Zangoose set in here. This one kind of has tool purposes. For one thing, it can Pursuit Trap the Gengar. Another thing it can do, however, is with my Sash intact, I can live any one hit from Celesteela, Endeavor it, and then revenge it with Quick Attack in case that gets out of hand. So that's nice. And then I got Knockoff on there because just because I want to make sure I can get rid of the Gengar, and also there's a lot. Nothing on his team really appreciates losing its item, except for like the Mega Alt, of course, because it can't. So I just figured Knockoff would be nice on there. Oh, sorry. And I had an immunity because I have to have it with Endeavor, I believe. No, I don't. No, I just don't need Toxic Boost, and if I'm trying to live on 1, that's why. That's why. But yeah, to go along with that, I'm actually gonna move out of order here for a minute. To go along with that, I actually have Defog Klefki, and this is kind of insurance number 2 for Celesteela because it's got the red card. Because of course, if the user survives a hit, then the mon gets switched out. So of course, I was expecting Celesteela to be physical just because like combination of heavy slam and earthquake really just kind of ruins my life. So I can of course set up reflect, set up thunder wave maybe, and then it just gets bounced out by red card. So that's pretty cool. And then I also got defog because of course defog can clear away hazards like guaranteed because this thing's got prankster, which makes it so my Zangoose will not have to take any hazard damages. Of course, Blacephalon keeps switching in. If he sets up webs, and those are now gone, so that's pretty nice. And I just got player fun there, because it hits a decent chunk of its team. Like Scrafty hates that hates that move. Mega Altaria, of course, doesn't like it either. So yeah, that's pretty that's pretty self-explanatory there. So I'm gonna go back in Cobalion here. It was actually what I set up my win con to be. And if you just look at this matchup, it's pretty obvious why. First off, it outspeeds everything but the Zebstrika and the Gengar. Of course, the Gengar, I have this nifty little Zangoose here to Pursuit Trap that, so that can be taken care of. The Zebstrika, yeah, it's kind of scary, but I mean, I also have a Nidoking and a Lantern, so I kind of didn't expect it to come. And even if it did, like, it's a Zebstrika. But yeah, this thing, Sub, SC, Ironhead, Close Combat, Fightinium Z. Let me, if I can set up with this thing, and like his Gengar is gone, then yeah, we're in business pretty much. So yeah, and that's also another reason I put Reflect on this Klefki. That makes this thing be able to set up on stuff like Araquanid, Piloswine, even Scrafty. It can even tank hits from Hitmonlee with that Reflect up. So yeah. Yeah, so this thing was so good in this matchup, I just needed to make sure I brought it in the right time. And then next up is Nidoking with Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, Sucker Punch, and Stealth Rock. Timid Life Orb. Stealth Rock just because, I mean, that's all. Hazards are always nice. And then Sludge Wave is pretty self-explanatory, just hits most of his team. And then Thunderbolt and Sucker Punch are the interesting ones. This is yet more Celesteela insurance because the combination of Thunderbolt and Sucker Punch actually kills it if it has like low to none HP investment. So that's kind of why I had that there. But Sludge Wave pretty much actually ruins him. The only things that can take a Sludge Wave are Gengar, which of course will die to Sucker Punch. The Celesteela, which takes a ton from Thunderbolt. And then Piloswine is the other resist, and I mean I'm not really that afraid of Piloswine. So, yeah, Nidoking was really good in this matchup too. And finally we have Disco Fish. I'm sweat from head to toe. I'm wet through all my clothes. I'm fully charged. Balls are lit up, ready. I don't know. You know, Toflo. Our queen. I'm sorry, it's like not even 8 a.m. yet, and I want to die. Anyway, so this thing is Water Absorb, mainly for the Araquanid, because Araquanid's spooky. Nothing on my team really wants to take water moves, and this thing can. I decided to just go that over Volt Absorb because his only electric type is Zebstrika, and like I said, I'm really not that afraid of that. So, and this is Spadef anyway, so it can eat up anything from it. So, yeah, that's why I did that. So, Volt Switch and Scald, of course. Volt Switch is really nice because it just lets me pivot around. Scald is cool. Of course, his only electric immunities are Zebstrika and Piloswine, so neither of those appreciate Scald. And then Toxic and Protect. Protect just for more leftovers, and then Toxic because, I mean, I can poison the Mega Alt, I can poison the Uxie, I can poison pretty much everything but the Celesteela. So that's amazing. And then these EVs are actually supposed to get me max leftovers recovery. Keep in mind, in the actual battle, I did not breed properly. Yes, that's the word. I did not breed properly, and these were actually off. They were the numbers for level 100, so My bad there, but this is what they should have been. So yeah, that's the team. Really kind of an interesting team I built, but yeah, let's just see how it plays out. So I will see you in the battle. Okay, so as we can see, he brought the Uxie, the Scrafty, the Araquanid, the Mega Alt, the Celesteela, and the Hitmonlee. The most notable out of this for me was that he did not bring the Gengar, and I was really surprised about that because, of course, Gengar was really, really good against me, so of course I was happy about that. He also did not bring the Substrika, so that means that Cobalion, barring anything on this team being Scarfed, can outspeed everything. So that right away, that's what I saw the most. So I knew with this game, I was just like, you know what, we're sticking to that plan. So he brought a few surprises. I actually wasn't really too sure what exactly was going to bring because I think that a lot of his team had like a decent matchup versus me. He could have like mixed and matched a lot of stuff. So anyway, yeah, let's just go right into the battle here. As I'm actually going to decide to lead off with a Lantern. It just seemed like the safest bet. If he leads with the Araquanid, I can Toxic it. If he leads with the Uxie, I can Toxic it. The only thing I didn't want him to lead with was a Mega Alt, but I wasn't really expecting that. So he does lead with the Uxie, so he's gonna set up his rocks, and I'm actually just gonna Toxic here, turn one, because getting this thing weakened is really nice, of course, for Cobalion, because this thing's pretty bulky, so getting it weakened as much as possible really, really nice. So he's gonna poison here. Here I'm actually just gonna protect just to scout. Like I know Toxic Protect is kind of cheap, but like it's just so good with Lantern because it doesn't get any other recovery. So give me a break here. So yeah, the Uxie's gonna get some leftovers. It's gonna take some more poison damage, and I'm actually going to stay in and Scald here. And my reasoning for that was because I expected him to stay in because he stayed in that last time, and I don't think he really wants to switch anything into a Scald. So yeah, that Uxie's just gonna take even more damage, and so yeah, we both get our leftovers. It gets its poison damage taken down. So here I'm actually going to make a bit of prediction, and I'm actually going to Volt Switch because I knew he probably was predicting to protect. He probably wouldn't want to stay in, so he switches into his Mega Alt. I'm just going to Volt Switch right on out of there. So I'm actually going to go into my Nidoking this time because he has to Mega Evolve, and he knows this thing's going to die to Sludge Wave. So I'm just free to pretty much click that. If he goes into Celesteela, of course, I have T-Bolt. So we're doing pretty good. So he's going to go into his Scrafty here. Reveals that it's actually an Intimidate set. I'm going to Sludge Wave that. And here, this play might seem interesting. I could have switched this out into like Klefki or something, but I wanted to keep my red card. So I'm just going to weaken this thing, because this is really his one of his few answers for Blacephalon. And getting this thing as weak as possible is nice. So he's going to knock off my Life Orb. I know I can take another one, so I'm actually going to stay in and Sludge Wave. So this thing's going to die next turn, so I can either Sludge Wave or Stealth Rock next. As he goes for Ice Punch, actually, and I live, but I get frozen. Yeah, so just my luck there. So I don't even get to kill this thing, and I don't get to get at my rocks. So either of those would have been really nice, but you know, you're why I can't have nice things, Nidoking. So yeah, Nidoking's gonna go down there. So Crimson draws first blood, but I'm actually just gonna bring in Cobalion here and gonna let Scrafty go down. I guess he's staying in case like I try to set up rocks or something. I'm not real sure, but yeah, he's gonna lose a Scrafty there, which is real nice. So there's the Intimidator gone. There's a Blacephalon check gone, and as he brings in the Hitmonlee. I don't really know what this set is, so I'm actually gonna switch into Klefki here. And he usually withdraws, and he goes into the Rockman. I guess he was expecting the Blacephalon, but I wasn't ready to risk that yet. So anyway, Klefki's red card is still intact, which is nice. So I'm actually gonna go into Lantern here. It can take literally anything from this Araquanid. Like I don't really care. Ooh, my bad. Sorry about that. This is going to actually double here into Altaria. So Crimson making a lot of good plays here to start. I definitely made a prediction first turn. I think he kind of picked up on that and is trying to like play on his toes a bit as well. So he's actually going to Mega Evolve up here. I'm going to stay in and Volt Switch because I don't really know what this thing is going to do. As it actually does a Body Slam, which did a decent amount. So yeah, I definitely think this is definitely like more of a bulky set, as I'm going to Volt Switch out into my Klefki. And I don't really know what this thing is going to do, but I know I can T-Wave it, I know I can Reflect, I know I can play rough, and I do have the red card, so in case things get out of hand, this thing is out of there. So I'm going to defog away those rocks. Of course, the Uxie is toxic right now, so I can, I just need to like keep that thing from from keep doing its thing. So the ult's going to set up, I'm just going to set up a Reflect here. Because I know it can take any one hit, and this thing will get out of there, because it is spooky, and I do not want to be dealing with spooky dragons. So, it's going to body slam me. I don't get paralyzed, thankfully, and my red card actually forces it out, so that was really nice. His Hitmonlee comes in, which is a really good scenario for me, because this, of course, that thing's not staying in. So I'm pretty much just free to go for a T-Wave here. So I do get a T-Wave on the ult. That's really nice. He's got a paralyzed dragon. So pretty much Klefki is free just to like play rough here, as that's exactly what I do. This thing will die to one more hit, except he reveals he has the Roost. So this is definitely more of like a bulky DD ult kind of set, and he's going to reveal a move in a minute. That's going to be really, really annoying for me. As I'm going to go for play off again. Playing real rough with this ult. Like it's getting pretty nasty over here. So he's gonna refresh, get rid of that paralysis, and yeah, this is where it becomes kind of a stalemate, because I can keep T-waving this thing and I can keep play roughing it, but I pretty much just have to wait for this thing to get fully paralyzed before I run out of moves. So yeah, he's gonna Roost here. It actually like pretty much is in my favor for to win this matchup here. So I'm actually just gonna keep staying in. Like I really have no other options. If all goes to hell, like I can bring in Zangoose and Endeavor and make this not an issue anymore. So he's actually gonna switch out here. I think he realizes that he's unlikely to win this matchup, as I'm just gonna set up another Reflect. So yeah, he's going to bring his Uxie, he's going to get that leftovers, and he's going to take more poison damage. But I'm totally fine with this, because no matter what, I do have that Prankster defog. So, you know, whatever he wants to switch into after this, I can just pretty much defog these rocks away. So I'm really not afraid of this Uxie at all. It's going to get some more leftovers up and take some more poison damage. So yeah, this thing is pretty much in range for Cobalion. Pretty much, and especially now that season after, as I get this defog off, this Uxie is looking pretty dead at this point. So he's gonna go for Psychic there. I thought that was an interesting play. I think the better play definitely would have been for him to just keep setting up rocks, or I don't know what other moves he has, but I think something else might have been nice there. So, but I'm actually going to switch out into the Blacephalon, and my reason for that is because I knew he was gonna set up rocks again here, and I would get a good chance to get my my Beast Boost here if I was able to kill this Uxie. And with his Scraftion, he has no more Ghost Resist. So, yeah. So this thing is hanging on to its last life, and he's actually going to save it, and revealing that this is actually a Spadef Araquanid. So this is a pretty bulky spider. As you're going to see, this Shadow Ball does like 0. So yeah, this is definitely a defensive Araquanid, which is really good to know for later, because that means that it's not offensive, and that means liquidation isn't going to entirely ruin my life. So I'm going to go into my Lantern here. I don't know what this thing's going to go for, but I know I can take it, especially because it's defensive, as that Leech Life is going to leave me pretty low. However, I know with this Leftovers Recovery and the Protect, I can actually keep I can keep this thing alive a bit longer. So he actually realizes that, and he's going to switch out into his Uxie, as I actually just go for the Toxic there, because I just mainly wanted to get that thing poisoned. I also didn't know what it was going to do, and I knew there was a chance for me to still live a Leech Life there. So, but he decided to switch out, and here this actually is a good opportunity, because I can just Protect, because this thing already has its rocks up. So, you know, hey, whatever it's going to do, it just dies here. Even if like tries a Memento or something, it can't do that. So it's just gonna die to this Toxic here as I get my get some more leftovers. So Lantern's looking really nice too, getting all this health back. So he's gonna go to his Celesteela here. I know if it's defensive, I probably outspeed and I can Volt Switch. If it's Autotomize, it sets up, and then I get a slow Volt Switch, and I can come in with Blacephalon. So he's actually going to set up his Autotomize here, not realizing I'm Scarf Blacephalon, I guess. And you're going to see here that this thing is weakness policy. So, yeah, had I not had Scarf Blacephalon, this would be this would be interesting. But of course I do. So, yeah, Blacephalon coming to the rescue here, because that could have been really bad. And this was probably, as he's actually going to switch out here, which is a good play by him. That was probably his main misplay. I think this match was setting up a little too early with Celesteela. Of course, he still has more than half HP, so he can still set up again. But he did lose his weakness policy, and is entirely a lot less spooky. So he's going to bring his Araquanid here. That Flamethrower is going to do absolutely nothing. I've never seen Blacephalon just like not do damage to stuff. So yeah, I'm actually going to bring my Klefki at this point. The Lantern play seemed too obvious, and I know this thing, especially with that being defensive, could take it anyway. And it was the right play too, because he brings an ult. So I'm just going to Defog here. It does let this thing get a free turn off of something. However, I do get the rocks away, and this thing's evasiveness drops. So that means I cannot miss my Thunder Waves or my Play Roughs, which makes it even more, which makes it even like better in my favor for me to win like this little stalemate here. So he doesn't want to be messing around with that, so he's going to switch into his Araquanid, as I do go for the Thunder Wave here. So that Araquanid's gonna be nice and paralyzed, nice and electrified bug there. Araquanid's really cool. I gotta say, I don't really know like what to make of it, but it's pretty cool mod. Anyway, I'm gonna go into my Lantern there. I predict, as he does go for the liquidation, so that's huge for me, as I do get this this HP back. I figured he might predict a reflect there, so I thought that might have been a good time to go to Lantern. Like if he was going to go for liquidation, I think it was that turn, so that's why I went for that there. So I'm actually just going to stay in Intoxic if he tries to switch or whatever, but he actually just stays in. So there's really nothing Lantern can do other than Volt Switch, so that's kind of just what I have to do and go back into Klefki. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to Volt Switch, get a bit of damage off, but it's still nothing. This thing is so bulky on the special side. It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to go into Klefki here, and this is actually a really good opportunity. This is the point where I was like, okay, especially after this thing gone for rest, I was like, okay, this thing's defensive. I can set up Reflect. I can go into Kabaleon, and I can set up. So that was kind of my plan here. So he can't really, he doesn't really want to switch out either, because he doesn't want the Celesteela to get paralyzed, and of course the Hitmonlee and the Altaria don't want to take a play rough. So he gets Sleep Top against the Leech Life. Doesn't really matter, because with his Reflect up, like it's not really going to be doing any damage anyway. And I'm actually just going to switch into Kabaleon here, because he has one more turn of sleep left. He has a 30% chance to get a liquidation. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty well off. Actually just doesn't even go for the Sleep Talk, because I guess he wants to save PP, so works out fine for me. So he's going to go into his Hitmonlee here, as I do set up a Swords Dance. I don't really know what to set this thing is still, but I know with the Reflect Up I can take like anything from it. So I do go for the Iron Head. That thing's actually just going to drop. So I don't know what set this was, but it wasn't a set that could beat Kabaleon apparently. So he's going to go into Araquanid here. I can't kill it right now, so I'm actually just going to go for another SD, because I know that this thing, I know this thing's entire set, and it can't touch me with Reflect Up, because you're going to see he goes for this liquidation. And yeah, that's just a 0. But Reflect does run off, and I'm actually going to click here the all-out pummeling. This thing is supposed to kill at +4. I could have set up again probably, but I want to risk it. I was just like, okay, we're going for the damage, so we're going for the all-out pummeling. Kabaleon's getting charged up. It's throwing punches somehow with the arms it doesn't have. It's running towards it. That Araquanid is dead. Yes. The Araquanid just drops there. So that was pretty much where I win this match. So of course the Celesteela is going to come in. It's going to die to a CC. But yeah, killing that Araquanid was really what I needed to do just to win this match, because of course looking at my team, like the only thing that could actually beat it was the Zangoose, and even then, like I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So yeah, he does bring the ult here, and of course I am +4, and that is a stab Iron Head. So yeah, that could that Altaria is going to drop, and we end up as victors 5-0 over Crimson Seabed. a huge victory as we get back-to-back 5-0s to start our NPA career and the Nashville Preditars. So an awesome start for the Preditars. Cobalion, of course, coming through for us here. Just an all-around solid win. Like, you really can't really can't ask for much more. But yeah, overall, like I said, a good game, I think, on our part. I brought in Cobalion at the right time. It was definitely the right mon, right set to bring, and yeah, it did its job. So thanks to Cobalion, thanks to Klefki for and Lantern for just coming in clutch so many turns. Like, I really think that it was kind of almost a like those free mons kind of just did everything. And like Zangos didn't even touch the field, unfortunately. I really wanted to see that set work, but I mean, I got a 5-0, so I can't complain. So yeah, that was the I hope you all enjoyed. I worked really hard on this video. I woke up way too early to record it, so yeah. If you enjoyed, please do a like or subscribe or do whatever you can to show me support. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video, and goodbye.